Good morning, good afternoon, and hello. Happy Friday to all the coaches out there. Haha, thank Crunchy, it's Friday. We made it. Woohoo! This hat has so many uses. The biggest one is keeping my bald head warm. All right, let's jump in and talk about this week's questions. Got two questions today. All right, first question. Mark Chef writes, hello, Mark. Right now, what's on my horizon is the need to organize my time a bit to allow more for paid clients and less for free discovery calls. Yeah. Less of a question, I know, but the question I'm asking myself is what is the next balance for me, time wise, to best serve my clients? How many calls do I want per day so that I am at my best? Okay, this is a great question and very relevant to coaching and very relevant to my experience of coaching, because when I was sitting at home spending hours and hours working on my business, but not actually working in my business, how should I say this? I wasn't doing any coaching. And then when I started working with Steve and things started to turn around where I was spending more time in my business, which means, coaching people, I started scrambling because I didn't know how to organize my time. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that as you stay in the game, my experience has been this, and I've noticed it for a lot of coaches that I've coached over the years, is that they start moving away from free coaching calls, so many of them, because as a new coach, you want to focus on free coaching calls. You want to focus on complimentary coaching calls. I wouldn't call them free because there's a cost. The cost is the person has to show up. The cost is the person has to do work. The cost is the person has to look at shit that they might not want to look at. The cost is they have to grow and stretch and lean into their comfort zone. So there's a cost. And so what I've noticed is that as coaches start to stay in the game, start to realize, hey, I want to start putting more attention on my calendar for paid coaching clients. So Mark writes, how many calls do I want per day so that I am at my best? Now, you have to decide in your business as early on as possible, because the earlier you do it, the better. What days am I going to work on my business? In other words, what days am I only going to look at the future of my business? For me, it's Mondays from 10 to 12. Every Monday from 10 to 12, you'll find me sitting on my computer, pondering, thinking. Sometimes I walk outside and I have a cup of tea and I think about the business and think about what do I want to create. I've created a whole new bunch of programs for next year that I'm really excited about. And I did that over a cup of tea sitting outside, thinking about my business, asking myself questions like, what do I want my business to look like? How can I have more fun in my business? Where am I not having fun in my business? What do I want to get rid of in my business that is not enjoyable? What do I want to add more of into my business that would be more enjoyable? For me, it's 30-day programs. I love doing 30-day programs. I love taking them and I love doing them. So I'm going to do a lot more of those next year. So you got to ask yourself, what days I'm going to work on my business. Now, in your business, the simple answer, Mark, and this is for everyone, you have to find out what works for you. When I started working with Steve and I started making money, I got money hungry and I coached everybody. And I was doing like 5, 6, sometimes, 6, 1, 7 calls per day. And it only took me about 2 months to realize this is not working. It only took me about 2 months to realize that I was completely knackered by, that's Irish for really tired, exhausted by the third conversation. And back then I was having, 1-hour conversations and 90-minute conversations. So you have to decide, there's no right answer for this, but I can tell you that if you're doing 3 to 4 1-hour sessions per day, that's enough. One of the things that I did that was very helpful was I would have a session at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And by the way, I don't have sessions at 6 o'clock anymore because clients come home from a long day there's nothing left in the tank, and then they're going to coach with you. Try your best to get your clients to commit to coaching the first 2 hours in the morning. Between 10 and 12 is when I do my coaching. Now, I only coach my clients on Wednesdays. I coach in the morning. I have a client here at 10:30, and then I do one afternoon session. I do a 2-hour session in the morning, and I have 2 hours off, and then I do another 2-hour session in the afternoon. Now, for you new coaches, you're going to be doing a lot of 1-hour sessions and a lot of 1-hour complimentary sessions. So you've got to decide, when are you going to do those? And I would always put, if you have an hour session, have an hour break. Hour session, hour break. But again, you have to find out what works for you. But I would not encourage coaches, new or seasoned, to do any more than 3 1-hour sessions per day. But that's just me. You got to find out what works for yourself. So, Mark, the question you've pondered is, what's the next balance for me time-wise to best serve my clients? That's it. I would sit down and answer that question for yourself. It's a great question. Thank you for sharing. All right, Carrie. Hello, Carrie, and welcome again. All right, Carrie says, I'm completely new here. We all are, Carrie. We all are. I have a question about what to do after a 60-minute complimentary session where I provide a coaching experience. When should I discuss the offer, and how should I approach talking, or writing about it? Okay, we have a class. Harry, please reach out to Kim, our TA, and ask for the class on how it's a folder. It has 3 classes in there: what to do before a complimentary session, what to do during, and what to do after. It's 3 90-minute classes, and I would highly encourage you to watch those classes. It outlines the entire process. But let me share with you a few things that have been helpful for me, and some of the things I teach in Club Fearless. Okay, so what to do after a 60-minute session where I provide a coaching experience. When should I discuss the offer, and how should I approach talking or writing about it? Okay, so you invite someone to have a complimentary 60-minute session. You have a complimentary 60-minute session. In that session, you don't want to fix problems. You want to look at opportunities. You want to look at possibilities. What do you have in your life that you don't already have? I'm gonna add here. There's a PDF with 25 questions on it, Carrie. Questions to ask in your first complimentary session. I'm gonna post it here so you have it. It'll be very helpful to you. And so you want to ask the client some possibility questions. They're on the PDF. I'll share it in a moment. And then at the end of the session, if it's gone well, you like the client, they like you, you're interested in working with them. It's just as important for you to want to work with them as for them to work with you. And they say, gosh, this coaching thing is pretty good. And so you want to have a conversation. Hey, you want to leave 5-10 minutes at the end. Say, hey, would you be interested in doing some coaching on a professional level with me? And they say, well, what do you mean? Well, today we talked about this, and this. I'd love for us to take this a little bit further. If you're interested, we could take two or 3 topics that they talked about and say, if you like, we could have a conversation about this, or we could work on creating this for you, whatever they talked about in the session. That's why you find out what are all the things that are not working in their life. And you say, well, I'm a new coach, a professional coach in training. And I'm wanting to do this as part of my living, as part of my lifestyle. And so I would love to be able to, for us, and depending on what you think, Carrie, 3 sessions. How about we do 3 sessions and we look at diving deeper and creating this for you, whatever it is they shared in the first session. Would you be interested in that? I would be interested in having 3 more sessions, Carrie. What do you charge? And so you always have to, have your coaching fee. So for 3 sessions, I would charge $150 per session. They're a 90-minute or 60-minute, whatever you decide, Kerry. It's your business. You create it how you want it. And so we would have 3 90-minute sessions spread over the next 6 weeks. We'd have one every second week, or whatever you want to do, 1 hour every week, 3 sessions in the month. I tend to tell coaches, if you're going to have 2 sessions in a month, have like 2 90-minute sessions, the first Monday of the month and the third Monday, or a Wednesday, the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday, so that you give the client 90-minute session, and then you have space for them to do their homework, and then you come back for the second 90-minute session. I've found that working with a client every week, but you have to ask the client, hey, do you want to have 3 1-hour sessions? Do you want to have 2 90-minute sessions? Find out what they want also. And so talk to the client about working together on a professional basis. If we were to do 3 sessions together, paid sessions, what would you want to create for yourself? What would you love to use those sessions for? If you were interested in doing some coaching with me, and I'd love to do some coaching with you, you're a great candidate for coaching. What would you love to talk about? What would be helpful? What are some changes that you would really like to make in your life? And so you have a conversation with the client, and then you put a few sessions on the books. Just in the same way that you would if you go to a massage therapist, and the massage therapist says, how was the massage? And you say, it was wonderful. And she says, would you like to have some more? And you say, yeah, I would. So when would you like to have them? I'd love to have one a month, or one every twice a month. Wonderful. It costs this, and let me put it together for you, and I'll send you an invoice. It's the exact same thing. So hopefully that was helpful, Kerry. Hopefully that was helpful, Mark. And I will share that that resource. By the way, there's a whole library of resources. Whatever you need, folks, whatever you're struggling with, email Kim, clubfearlessforcoaches@gmail.com, and say, hey, I'm struggling with the coaching fee. Hey, I'm struggling with what to do in the first coaching session. What do I do? And she'll let you know. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. Cheers.